Stitch and Stitch podcast. I'm Marsha, also known as Fairy Little on Instagram and Ravelry, and this is my podcast about knitting and a little bit about homesteading. Hello, it has been a little while, and the light in here is horrible just for today because it's very overcast outside. So I just wanted to let you know that that's why. If there's any sort of issue with the visual, that's where it's coming from. It looks like it's recording a little bit weird right now, but I hope that works out for when I'm editing. But so it has been a little while, and since I last saw you guys, I was planning on going to Knit City, which I did go, but a lot of things have gone very, very sideways in the last few weeks. So I've been very busy and looking after my dad and things, and I'll get into that at the end of the podcast. So if you're not interested in that, then I won't bore you with the details of my life. But so getting into the knitting. So I'm going to talk about Knit City first, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. Scylla and I went down. We drove just out of town a little bit and stayed at a friend's house on Thursday night, and then we picked up Carla, who is also K Ray on Instagram, and picked her up at we got up at about 5, so we picked her up at around 6 in the morning from Emily's place, and they both co-host the audio podcast, the Relentless Knitting podcast. And we picked up Carla and we drove to Vancouver. The drive was really good, except at one point 2 semis tried to play pinball with us, but we made it and we were okay. And we were heading in early because we were going to Shannon's house of the Socksetra podcast. She was hosting a brunch for a bunch of podcasters, and it was amazing. I met so many people there. There was one person in particular that I was super excited to meet. Her name is Kay, and she has the Knit Pug podcast. She's going to be changing it, but she used to be on Two Tangled Skeins, and that was one of the very first podcasts I started watching, and it was awesome to meet her, and she's such a lovely woman. Then one of Shannon's friends came, and he used to have kind of a video podcast blog. His tag name was It Takes Balls to Knit, but he's also Mr. Hugs. His name is Steve, and he was like, I think he was the first knitting video I found, and he actually taught me how to do the long tail cast on one of his videos, which was super cool. So that was really fantastic to meet him. Yeah, we hung out and we had breakfast, and Shannon periscoped, and it was a lot of fun. I also got the opportunity to meet. Vicky was there from the Sweet Leaps podcast, and she was so sweet. She actually gave Scylla and I each a gift. Sorry, I've got some things down here. And she gave us each some yarn and a little package and a little holder. It's a little pig holder for your iPhone. You stick it on the back, and some really super cute stitch markers, and there's a little bee in here and a star and a flower. Well, this is the one that she gave me, and she gave Scylla a nice little package as well. She also gave me this fantastic book. It's called Vintage Knitwear for Modern Knitters, and I love it. I could not stop looking at it, and it's actually one of my very favorite things that I got at Knit City. Like, I just want to take a second and show you this. Okay, there. Is that not cute? Oh my goodness. It's lined, it's knit, and it's lined with knitting, and it's so beautiful. This book is amazing, and I'm so excited about it, and I just couldn't thank Vicky enough. And it was our first day. So then Jenny from Lone Larch was there, and so was Elise, and from my Two Tips podcast, and there was a couple other people there as well, Scylla and Carla, and Sarah was there from the Make Things Club. So after we had breakfast at Shannon's place, I hope I didn't forget anybody. I'm trying to like picture where everybody was sitting. After we left Shannon's house, we went to Sweet Georgia, which was fantastic. They've got a room of seconds and a room, like it's all one big room right now. And they had more at Knit City than they actually had at their shop because most of their stock was at Knit Cities. But we went to Sweet Georgia and I picked up a couple skeins of yarn there that were beautiful, and I've since knit with both of them. So I can't show them to you right now, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But I knit with that yarn already. I cast one of them on the following day, actually, during one of my classes. And yeah, we hung out there, and then we drove back to the Atrium, which is the hotel we were staying at. And they gave me directions, and then somebody forgot to remind me where I needed to turn. And I just like, we got to the intersection. I was like, oh, this is where my turn is. And I just cranked the wheel. And my truck was full. There's 7 of us in there. And in the back, they didn't hardly move, but everybody else was like, whoa. We made it. The person at the intersection where we turned, they looked a little bit shocked, but it was fine. It worked out. And yeah, so we went back down to the Atrium. We hung out for a little while, and we went to hear a speaker, and that speaker was Isolde Teague. So her talk was on sweater sizing and how some people, when they like, sweaters should be made for everybody, not just 3 cookie cutter sizes, which is something I totally agree with. And that the foundation of what sizing is not actually based on anybody's human body kind of thing. And it was a really good talk. And after I talked to her and I asked her which book I should get, and I got this one. It's called The Rhinebeck Sweater. And she autographed it. It's very nice. And she was very lovely to chat with. And then after that, we went out and met up at the pub that's in the hotel. There was a bit of karaoke, which was fun. Elise, who has the My Two Tips podcast, has a little bit of footage from that night on her Knit City podcast. So after that, I went to bed fairly early. I wasn't feeling well. And as you guys know, I've been fighting something for a little while. And so we went to bed, and I got up at 5 in the morning and got ready to go and started, backing up a little bit, at the talk, met up with the grocery girls. That was really cool, and they were sitting with Susan B. Anderson. They had gone out for dinner, so I got to meet Susan, and I sat in front of them so that we could all chat. And then I got up at 5 in the morning, and Tracy, who is one of the grocery girls, texted me and asked me if I was going, and I said yep. But I was just waiting because it was really dark outside, and where Knit City is not actually in the best part of Vancouver. It's an okay place, but it's just down the street is like a really, really bad neighborhood. So I didn't want to go out too early in the morning. So I headed out just after 6, quarter after 6 or something. And I sat down in front of the doors. People were already starting to get there to set up, and security, etc. And the parkade people came in, and I sat there, and it was just me and a little rat. I was sitting with my back facing the door and looking out, and I just saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I turned and looked behind my bag, and there was a rat, and he's this big, like this tall, sitting up, because that's I looked at him and he was sitting up like this, and he's like that tall, and he looks at me, little brown rat looks at me, and I was like, ah! And he did the same thing and ran away. I was like, oh, it's just me and the rats out, yuck. So, But it was okay. He never came back, and and I was all right. I didn't get bitten or anything. And then another lady came and we sat and we chatted. And then another lady, and the next lady who came was like, "Do you remember me?" Because she was the first person in line last year. And so that was fantastic. And when we got in, I wanted to be in the front of the line. There was a very good reason. And last year, the Knit City colorway sold out within like 30 seconds. So I wanted to be in the front of the line just to make sure that I could get a hold of that, because I'm actually going to use that yarn as a giveaway, because it was only created in a certain amount of batches. So there were only, I think, 60 skeins available. So I picked one up for one of you. Went in and I had a class a little bit later, so I needed to go and do my shopping, and I did that, but it quickly became very, very overwhelming for me. I'm not a big crowd person anyway, so if anybody saw me, my eyes are probably going like this. I just went to each place that I needed to go to get what was on my list to get, and then went to my class, which was Shawl Shapes with Susan B. Anderson, which was fantastic. And Carla from the Nick's Knit podcast was there, and Vicky was there, and the grocery girls were in that class as well. And there was a myriad of other wonderful knitters there. Within 30 seconds of the class starting, I think a lady fell asleep, and Susan was like, "Oh, we already lost one of them." She woke up really shortly after that, but she must have had a big night the night before. The class was amazing. If you ever get an opportunity to take a class with Susan B. Anderson, I definitely recommend it. She's so knowledgeable. That class was fantastic. I went in there with an idea of what I wanted to do, and I started working on it right away. And you guys, I have to tell you, I'm going to be releasing a pattern on November 15th. And I can't wait to show you. I'm not going to show you in this podcast, but I will be showing you shortly. I have it out to my test knitters, and I also had it tech edited by Fatima of the Knit Knackers podcast. She's doing tech editing now. She's just getting started, and the experience was fantastic, and I'm still working with her on the pattern. I still have more edits to finish up, but that's going to be happening, and so that pattern will be released November 15th. So I'm really, really excited about that for two reasons. I haven't released a pattern in a while, since last spring, and so I'm really excited about this. But also, I am saving up for a computer, because I currently don't have a computer, so everything I do is on my phone and on Scylla's iPad, which I don't always have access to, and that has also been a bit of a recording problem as well. So I'm saving up for a computer so that I can actually do all of the things on my computer instead of on my phone, because my phone takes so long to, type up a pattern on your phone. It's a little bit of work. Saving up for that, so I'm super excited about that. Back to Knit City. Came out. Scylla had a class on Sunday. I had one on Saturday, and every time I felt like I was overwhelmed, I'd kind of remove myself. I even took a nap on Saturday. Still wasn't feeling 100%. And then some people were talking about going out on Saturday night and going to a pub or something. And there was another podcaster meetup planned. But by the time we went out to dinner, and I took a nap Saturday afternoon. I really was super under the weather. So Saturday afternoon I went and I took a nap, and I got up and then went to go eat, and the restaurant in the hotel was not prepared to actually feed people, so we waited a really long time for our food to come, and food got lost and lots of people left, and they ended up having to remake my food because they gave it to somebody else, and it was really unorganized, and a lot of people were very disappointed. So then that night we went to a talk by the Yarn Harlot, and It was fantastic. She is hilarious. She gave a talk about addiction and knitting, which is something that I love. And she compared it to, there's like a guide to like mental health and different diseases, etc. She like went through the checklist of what kind of addiction knitting, like how knitting fit into an addiction. It was super funny. She's hilarious and I loved it. And then after that, we went back to the hotel and I wasn't feeling up to anything at all, like really. So we just sat in the entranceway and or the like lounge just in the foyer of the hotel. They have this little, like, it's a little living room area. Anyway, we sat there with some lovely lady and Jody, and we just knit for probably an hour or two and just super low key. And it was really what I needed after the day. And then we all like turned in fairly early, and it was really good. And then Sunday still I had a class, so I wandered around the market because I don't feel like I'd seen as much as I'd wanted to see, and kind of took more time. And I did a periscope of walking around. I didn't stop at every single place, but it wasn't as busy on Sunday as it was on Saturday, so it wasn't as overwhelming for me. So I just thought that I would do that, and I was going to save it to my phone so that I could add it to the end of the podcast, but I don't know what happened if I had to do it right away, but I couldn't do it. So if you're interested, I'm Fairy Little on Periscope, and I believe you can still watch that segment. If you're interested, I just go around and talk. And some of the vendors were not prepared for me to come because it was just spur of the moment. One in particular, I think it kind of embarrassed her that I was recording, so I tried not to actually record her personally, and that's why, because she started blushing, and I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable. So that's out there, and it's and you can go and take a look. And I did get some acquisitions. I'm not going to go through all of them, but at the first talk, Sweet Georgia gave away little packs of yarn, and I got the little purple pack, which is super cute. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It doesn't say how much are in there. It's just a little sampler, I guess, of the Sock, Sport, and Superwash Soft. So I think that's their worsted weight. So Sock, Sport, worsted, looks like. And they look super nice. I haven't even opened this yet. So I'm going to go into my works in progress, and I'm just going to show you one today. I have been knitting a lot. I do actually have some finished objects, but they're nothing you can see yet. It's my pattern that I'm going to be releasing November 15th. How I'm doing my test knitters is I have a thread in the Ravelry group, and I'm just going through that thread and pulling out the top like 5 or 6 and sending them private messages, seeing if they're still interested in doing a test knit for me, and if they are, then they're the next on my list to use. So I am going to be working my way through everybody who has said that they would be willing to test knit for me. I'm just starting at the top and working my way through because I haven't been doing a lot of designing, but I do have quite a few designs that have been kind of in the background that I'm going to be working on. And also, as soon as I get a computer, I'll be able to do some charts for some patterns that I've already released and get some charts attached to those. And then everybody who has purchased one of my patterns previously will also get that just sent to them automatically. So that's coming. Now, what I'm working on is out of the Fair Isle Style book, Fair Isle Style by Mary Jane Mucklestone, and I am working on the Farah Raglan, and that is what it looks like in the book. And I've gotten a little bit done this past week on it. It's coming along very well. And I'll just flip it upside down and show you. So I've split for the sleeves. There's the sleeves, and the sleeves aren't full length, so yeah, they're coming along. And the body, I have one more repeat of design, and then it goes into a ribbing below that. So it's coming along really well. The pattern's well written, and I think any issues that I've kind of come across will block out. The one thing I have to say is that the size that I'm knitting, the stitch count does not do full repeats for 2 of the patterns. So so this one here, and this one here, it's the 12 stitch patterns. It doesn't actually do a complete pattern repeat, so I have had to play with the stitch count a little bit to try to get it to even out a bit. But yeah, I just have one more repeat, and it is on the side. Like this one you won't be able to see because it's under my armpit, and this one I played with the number enough to make it not as noticeable. But yeah, and it will block, so this will be blocked out, so it'll look a lot nicer. And the yarn that I am using for this is mostly Cascade Heritage Silk. Cascade Heritage Silk. So it's 85% superwash merino wool and 15% silk, and quite a few of my colors are in that. And then I have a couple of the colors are with the Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. There we go. So that's coming along, and it's really enjoyable, and it's just very, it's methodical, I guess. I have to pay attention, and then I get into just getting into a rhythm, and it's a really lovely knit. The only issue I've had is that those 2 sections weren't matching up properly, but I worked with it. So I'm really happy with how it's coming out. So that's really good. I have a few giveaways to do, but also we have a few knit alongs going on. Currently, Katie from Inside Number 23 and I are co-hosting. The hashtag is autumncolor16, and it's Colourwork knit along, and that's why I'm knitting that top, because it's going with the Colourwork knit along. It started October 1st and it will end December 1st. You can go into her thread or my thread and post. I have 2 threads. I have chatter thread, and I also have the finished objects thread. Works in progress are totally welcome. And I know the Sockmatician also has a Colourwork knit along going on, but you had to start it on his starting date. I'm not sure what that is. So works in progress are not good for his, but works in progress are good for mine and Katie's knit along. So if you have something sitting aside that is stranded Colourwork or Fair Isle or Colourwork Intarsia, then definitely that all counts. So you can enter your objects into our knit along. I also have another knit along coming up, and I'm really excited about this one, and it is a works in progress knit along. So it is all your whips, and it starts November 1st and it goes to December 31st. So it's hopefully to get everything off of the needles that has been waiting all year long, to start fresh January 1st. To get everything off by January 1. So sometimes I know I will get to a point where I'm almost done something and then put it aside and cast something else on. It's to grab those things out, finish them up, get them off the needles, and move on. And I'm so excited because I have plenty of things that need to be finished. So that's coming up, but I would like to introduce it this way. Yes, that's right. It is me, Jenny of Lone Larch, and Sue and Chelsea from the Legacy Knits podcast are all co-hosting this knit along. And we're super excited because we all have a lot of stuff to get done. And so I'm super excited. And I can't wait to get finishing things, because I love it when that feeling when things come off the needles. But then January 1, I will probably cast everything back on again, which is, it is what it is. So super excited about that. I have some amazing giveaways for you guys. I have reached over 3,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for all of you who are new and old subscribers, and I just really appreciate it. And I have a giveaway. So I opened a thread in the Ravelry group, and the prompt was, what is your guilty pleasure for music? What do you listen to that people wouldn't believe, or is, you know, kind of like, I don't tell people I listen to this, but I kind of listen to it. And it is hilarious. If you want some good listening and to be entertained, go take a look at that thread. There are so many entries in it, and I just read through it and I love it. So my guilty pleasure that I wrote about was Dolly Parton. I listen to Dolly Parton all the time. I have 2 of her CDs in my car, and I play them back to back. And one is, I think it's the Backwoods Barbie one. And the other one is, and my favorite song off of that one is Better Get to Livin'. And one of her Christmas ones with Kenny Rogers. And I listen to it all year long. Like, but only with the kids in the car, not with any adults. So I'm just like rocking out to Christmas music. I know, I'm eccentric. It's okay. I know you understand. Some people, Christmas isn't their thing, and that's fine. Some people, Halloween's their thing, or, you know, or birthdays or whatever. Christmas is one of my things. So, and Dolly especially is one of my things. And she actually just did a concert in Vancouver, and I didn't go to that, but Scylla was so excited. She got me for my birthday tickets to see Dolly and Kenny. But it's a tribute band. So when she realized it was a tribute band, she was so disappointed, because she thought it was just like a charity venue, and so it was just going to be like a small intimate show. And then when she realized it was a tribute band, she's like, oh. And I was still excited. I'll see fake Dolly any day. So I'm pretty excited about that. So back to the thing at hand, because I'm all over the place. We have a 3,000 subscriber giveaway that is happening right now. And also I have a double dip thread giveaway that's going to be happening today. And the Patreon giveaway. And we just finished actually the October, or the Canada Cal just finished at the end of September. So I have a giveaway for that as well. So let's dig in. So for the 3,000 subscriber giveaway, I gave the prompt, what's your guilty pleasure? And the winner of that, well, I'll show you what you win, actually. So what you're going to win is, it's about a shawl size bag. It's a pumpkin bag that I made, and it has some things inside. So inside this nice pumpkin bag, you are going to also receive this lovely yarn from Meraki Studios in New Zealand. It's hand-dyed yarn, and it's grunge dyed Casper the Ghost, and it's really pretty. And this was donated by her, and it's so nice. It's squishy. It's lovely to work with. And also you will receive these, because this is gray, I put in some silver scissors from clemscottdesigns.com, and also some buttons from them as well. So that is what you are going to receive. The number, the winner is number 112, and that's Sharby. who is Sharon, and she likes to listen to Rob Zombie and Mozart, which is quite the compilation. And so congratulations. Congratulations, Sharon. Just get a hold of me and I will mail this off to you as soon as I can. So for the Canada Cal, I made this sweater bag, and it has maple leaves on it and it has all things leafy in fall because it ended in fall, and it is very autumnal. And inside this bag is this lovely Briggs little sport yarn, and this is the same yarn that I knit one of my little cardigans out of, and this is Canadian yarn. And you will also receive these red little gems, Clem Scott Studio Designs.com scissors and some buttons, and they match the bag as well. See, whoops, drop that. See, they match. So that's what you will receive, and this is going to go to post number 256, who is A Cliff. So congratulations, and get a hold of me and I will send that to you as quickly as I can. I also want to announce some winners for the double dip thread. We have some patterns to give away and some yarn. So the first winner, so I pulled out from, there's 561 entries from the very beginning to now, and I'm just drawing from the whole thread. So hopefully if you have entered into that thread at any point, you pay attention to this section, because I don't want you to miss out on this. So we have Mina from the Knitting Expat podcast has generously donated her Beyond Vanilla Sock Pattern book 1, volume 1, and the winner of that is post number 493, and it's Moppy Amanda, who is Amanda, and congratulations. Just I will get a hold of Mina and let her know that you have won, and I'll get her to forward that to you. The next winner wins yarn coming directly from Bootsy One, who is Carolyn. She will be sending you a skein of your choice of yarn from her shop, and the winner of that yarn is number 499, who's Crazy Knitting Fool, who's Kristen. Congratulations, Kristen. And the final winner is post number 54, who is Slayer03, who is Sherry, and you will receive the Random Act of Color shawl from the Periscoping Sisters, from Debbie and Amy, and these are all generously donated prizes, and I want to say thank you so much, ladies, for donating to the podcast. I really appreciate it, and congratulations to all the winners. And I also have a prize for my Patreon winners for September and October. I want to talk about Patreon for just a second. When I first started Patreon, I did have a computer. My computer has since been completely out of date, and so it won't connect to anything internet. And so since then, I haven't been able to do any newsletters or anything. That's why I'm saving up for a computer right now. That is coming. So I've amended in my Patreon that you'll receive a newsletter, because I haven't been able to send that out. But I do want to start doing an additional video for those people who are Patreons. And I think that that will be easier for me at this point until I actually can get a computer. So I really want to apologize to anybody who was really excited about that. And I'm going to work towards getting back to that point where I can do that. And I really appreciate your support, and thank you so much for your continued support. I know some people have even donated without any of the any of the gifts or anything that come with it, or advantages. So I really want to thank you as well. Everything helps. The money goes towards that's being donated or subscribed, is going towards paying for shipping, for sending out all of these lovely gifts. So I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you are interested in supporting through the Patreon page, through any way, the link will be below, so you can always just click on there and go and take a look at what it looks like. But I pulled winners for September and October. What I do is I do a monthly draw for people who support the podcast on a monthly basis for $10 or over a month. So, and I use Canadian yarn as the prize, and I've been doing, this is the one thing that I have been doing all along for September, and the winner is going to receive this lovely skein of KPPPM Koigu. And it's a numbered colorway, but it's really, really pretty. And this was sent by a lovely watcher, subscriber, and I really appreciate it. So you'll be receiving this, and the winner of this skein is Jennifer. So Jennifer, if you could get a hold of me, then I will send this. I'll probably get a hold of you too. I'll probably send you a message or an email, just to make sure that you can receive this lovely yarn. I really enjoy knitting with this. And the second winner for October is Kay Jones, who I consider a good personal friend, so I'm super excited she's winning this one. And it's Koigu as well, and it's purples and blues. So Kay, if you can get a hold of me, I will be sending this to you. And thank you so much for your continued support. I cannot express how much I appreciate it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So a couple of things have happened. Now I'm going to go into life. So if you're not interested in life, then or mine, we'll see you next time. And if you're interested, then I'll just go into that here. So since the last episode, well, since September, my husband and I had our 12-year wedding anniversary, and I also celebrated my birthday. And I received some beautiful patterns from some very, very lovely viewers, and I thank you so much. It's the last few weeks have been, since before Knit City, it has been a little bit more difficult than normal. Like, I wish I'd like some boredom. I'd like some ho-hum and some humdrum. That would be really excellent. I'm ready for stress to be over, and I just want some just even keel, no drama for a little while. It would be beautiful. So before Scylla and I went to Knit City, my dad, he took a fall and in his assisted living home, and he broke his back and he broke one of his arms. He was hospitalized, and there was nothing we could do at that point. So we still went to Knit City. He was well looked after, and they were running a whole bunch of tests, but there was nothing we could do. So we went to Knit City, and but we both, when we were leaving, fully like emotionally drained, and that's also what added to me being so tired during Knit City. Went to Knit City, and we came back, and we found out that the place that my dad was living, they wanted his stuff cleared out because they didn't think he would be returning. So Scylla packed up his things in about 2 days and put them in a storage unit while he stayed in the hospital. They and then she went away to work, to meet with her team for her PhD thesis stuff in Ontario. And meanwhile, my dad was moved into extended care in the last couple weeks. There's a lot of emotional stuff going on. Really wish we could just have some boring right now, because I could do with some just just some regular, just whatever kind of life for a little while. So there's a lot more going on than just that with my dad, and a lot more going on in the house and stuff. But that's, you know, I don't want to get into that too much. But my dad is doing better. And so, you know, the last couple weeks I've been fairly raw, and that's why I haven't recorded, because I just have started crying at the drop of a hat, and I just have been, you know, got into my head a little bit more lately just because of everything that's gone on. And so yesterday I came home with the girls, and one of my neighbors was going outside, and he had tons of leaves all over his driveway, and I asked the girls, I said, hey, do you want to go help him clean up those leaves? And they're like, yeah. So they went and helped him. I brought a whole bunch of stuff in. Then I went and I grabbed our big recycle bin, brought it over to his house, grabbed a big rake, and we all just worked together. And another family next door came over and started helping. And I just really, like, it's so true that when you're dealing with something in your own life, your world can become really small, and that going out and helping somebody else can actually relieve some of your own burden, I guess, is the best way to put it. And he was so appreciative. He's an older gentleman, and we just helped him out and made a job that would have taken him alone a few hours, and it took us half an hour as like a neighborhood, and just banded together and helped him. And it was really nice. I just wanted to say, you know, I was watching the Periscoping Sisters the other day, and I had another situation that I ended up in tears from, and I was watching the Periscoping Sisters yesterday, and one of the things they said is, if you can't say something nice, essentially, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, kind of thing. And I just, it's so true. You never know where somebody is, and it doesn't take a lot of effort to be kind. And I just want to, you know, extend kindness to all of you, and just let you know that I really appreciate all of you, and all of the support, and all of the private messages, and everything that's been, like, you know, when you get a scratch or a wound, you know, you cover it, clean it, and keep it separated a little bit so that it can heal. And it's kind of been what's happening. But I felt fully supported in everything that's been going on, and a lot of it is due to you guys being wonderful. And so I just really wanted to say thank you so much. It has been a tough month, and it's just so amazing that this group of knitters and this community, even though it's so virtual, like, it's not, we meet each other and we're friends instantly, you know, like, and there's so many different personalities. And like going to Knit City, I was sitting in the atrium area at the downstairs, and I met up with some ladies that I met last year, and it's just like, it was just, we're, you know, we still get along. It's still amazing, you know, and people coming up to me and saying, hi, how are you? You know, and I might not recognize them, but they recognize me. And it's just like, it's such a beautiful community, and I just really enjoyed it. The other thing I wanted to mention, now that it's at the very end of the podcast, Scylla doesn't get a lot of time to watch the podcast, so I don't know how much of it she actually watches, but I know she doesn't watch it very often. But she got to meet Jane Richmond, and she totally fangirled, and by the end she's like, Jane's my best friend. And Jane kept joking about Scylla being her best friend, but we have to say it quietly because her friend Shannon Cook was was there, and she's like, don't tell Shannon. And so I purchased a gift for Scylla for Christmas, and I got her their new book, Within, and it is beautiful. It is so beautiful, and they both autographed it. And Shannon wrote, Scylla, thanks for your support. Hope you enjoy Within. And Jane wrote, Scylla, I really hope you love the book. Happy knitting, BFF. And Scylla has no idea that I got her this book, and she is going to be so excited. She was even talking about yesterday. She's like, I should have gotten their book, but she didn't, and I have it for her. So this is a little bit of a knitting secret. So don't tell her, because I know you can keep a secret. And that's why I kept it to the end of the podcast. The next episode, I'll probably show more of what I've been knitting on. I just wanted to make sure that I got something out, and I had a lot of prizes to give away. So I hope that you have an amazing day, amazing week. I really appreciate all of the support that I've received from you guys, and that so many more people have been subscribing. And I am excited for some ho-hum and some humdrum, and if you guys could send some this way, I'd really appreciate it. I hope you have a great week, and it was great spending time with you. Until next time.
I stopped traffic today. Somebody slammed on their brakes and got out of their car.
Yeah, it happened. There's Tracy.
I had a meltdown. Oh, and there's Katie. I have to go say hi to Katie.
Oh, great. There's Jody. There's Yarn Ink. Oh my God, it's
Ancient
art.